Hi, welcome to another episode of Crypto Tips. My name is Toby.
My name is Heidi.
And
this is episode 27 of our AMA sessions. These questions have been sent in to us by our Patreon members of the CT Club. So thank you everyone for contributing. These are great.
So the benefit of the CT Club also is when we allow people to write us questions and we read them off. Like, I understand a lot of people have a lot of questions about this space and they're new and they're wondering what the heck is this, what the heck is that. We will answer these questions. So join us and then present your questions and it should be great.
And we'll make a video about it. We're on number 27 so far.
Yeah, it's great. I love it.
Also, you know, these questions are really great coming from beginners and also people who have some experience in the crypto space too. But all these people are in our we have a Discord channel for Crypto Tips as well. I'll provide a link to the public channels down below in the video description. If you join through that link, you'll only have access through the public channels. If you want to have access to the Crypto Tips Patreon group specific channels, like the private channels, you'll have to join Patreon and connect your Discord account there, and then you'll get access. Just wanted to clear that up so people weren't confused.
Bring it.
First question, can someone give me some advice, please? Well, you're asking us, so it's going to be either Toby or me. Yeah. I hold KSM, that's Kusama, and want to store them on Polkadot. I have opened Polkadot.js and created a Kusama wallet via Ledger. The question is, how secure is the site? Do any of you store KSM this way? Thanks in advance.
I mean, you can store it on your Ledger.
That's exactly it.
Polkadot.js.
Is that it's not being stored on that website, it's being stored in your ledger. The Polkadot.js is just the interface that allows you to interact with your coins. You will, if you have this wallet and you've attached it to your ledger, you still need your ledger to confirm the transactions on the buttons of your ledger. So that's how you know the coins are stored on your device and not actually on that website. Because if you don't have the ledger connected, you can't access the coins if that's how you set it up. So long story short, yes. And also, if you're worried about privacy and things like that, I recommend you use a VPN. We use Mullvad. Mullvad. Not sponsored, just a big fan.
Yep. And they don't require an email address or anything. They don't care about your name.
You
and
can pay
they shouldn't.
Crypto.
Yep.
Okay. Next question. Is Bitcoin a long-term store of value for decades to come? And what are the risks of whales cashing in and moving on to the next opportunity? This was mentioned by Frank Guistra when debating Michael Saylor on Bitcoin being a long-term store of value in their recent debate. Okay,
so this is a great question. I love answering this question because Bitcoin, yes, it's definitely a store of value for decades and I would say centuries. Secondly, the whales cashing in. That is really good because it distributes the coins evenly, or at least more evenly. Having these whales having a huge control over the price, these whales will sell eventually and it will be distributed hopefully evenly throughout the years. This isn't going to be overnight. This is going to take quite a while, probably over a decade. But yeah, that is what's happening. You're seeing, because the big argument is like, okay, there's all these giant corporations that hold these coins, all right, that hold the majority of coins, these huge wallets or whatever. But I'm like, well, that's actually not really true, because, like, say for instance, Coinbase, they hold the coins for how many different people? I think there's like 130 million people that have Bitcoin now. So that's being distributed. And that number is going to continue to grow. And the higher the prices, like a hedge fund, a hedge fund's going to want to sell at a higher price because they want to meet their quota, they want to meet their deadline, and they want to show off, hey, this is how much we bought Bitcoin over here and we sold it over here for a crazy profit. That's good for their underlying business. And so that's what they're going to do. And they're going to sell it, and then who's going to pick up who's going to pick up the Bitcoin? It's going to be people like us, people like Michael Saylor. It's going to be other people that wanted the opportunity to buy those Bitcoin. So, and that's just a cycle that's definitely going to continue, and it is snowballing into more and more as time goes on. So it's really exciting that big whales are going to be selling their Bitcoin. We need that, guys. We can't have them hoarding everything.
Yeah, it's gonna distribute the supply, and it's also going to reduce the volatility, and it's going to be sending those coins into people who are most likely going to be holding for a very long period of time. Anyway, it's an interesting concept that I think can scare a lot of people, but in all reality, it's actually a good thing. It's very similar to what's happening with China and the miners. A lot of people thought the Bitcoin network was going to crash without it, but actually it's going to incentivize a more decentralized mining situation for Bitcoin. So, next question. Do you prefer selling altcoins into Bitcoin or to stable coins? And if so, what is your strategy for selling altcoins into Bitcoin?
Well, if you're a Patreon member, you know that what we've been doing with our coins.
Or if you're new, you will know.
Yes. So with altcoins, what I'll do is I'll take a percentage of my alt profit, and I will spread that over a little Bitcoin, and then sometimes all cash, and then sometimes stable coins, or like just a mixture of two, depending on where Bitcoin is and where I think it might be headed. So for instance, I have put some lower orders in, which you Patreon members know I have, and I've kept them in there, and I'm just waiting patiently. I hear a lot of people like, oh, I'm very bullish now. Yeah, the price rose $400, and all of a sudden people are like, oh, it's going to go to 100K now again. I'm like, gosh, the emotions here are out of control. But you can take advantage of these people's emotions and really buy some coins really cheap, especially Bitcoin.
So. I mean, for that strategy of putting in orders for Bitcoin, you do that with the stable coin. So you'll take the profit from the altcoin into a stable coin and then set it for a cheaper price than Bitcoin. Or, if we see one coin that's really going crazy and it's also somehow a buying opportunity for Bitcoin, we'll just do the switch more directly. But most of the time, I'd say it's into a stable coin first and then seeing when an opportunity comes up.
Yeah, but it is important to have some dry powder on hand.
Yeah.
Especially when you kind of are experiencing a pullback, you're going to want to buy coins at a cheaper price. I mean, why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I just think it's smart. But, here's one tip. Any Bitcoin that I buy is locked forever. Not selling it. And that is one thing I've kept very strong. I have a very strong opinion on that. Like, once I buy Bitcoin, it goes directly into storage. Doesn't get out.
Yeah.
I put it in its little
frigidly
cage.
Cold storage.
Yeah.
Last question. Are you absolutely certain that Binance will be operating competitively in 24 months? The UK is making it displeasure of Binance clear. Could there be a BitMEX kind of solution brewing? My read, for what it's worth, is that the Western governments have many grievances against Binance. I think regulatory pressure could mean Binance being sidelined somewhat and be overtaken by FTT, or is it FTX? Any thoughts? Well, it's FTX, first of all. But anyone being absolutely certain that any centralized platform is going to still be around in 2 years? No. No one can be absolutely certain about that. Binance hasn't been around for that long. It's only been around since like 2017. Yeah. It has, obviously it's massively popular around the world. It's very accessible for most people. Not so much anywhere for UK or US.
Little fun fact, when Binance opened, it was at 50 cents. That was a fun buying opportunity.
Yeah. But I think, I think you should only be freaking out about Binance if it's your only exchange that is your fiat on-ramp, off-ramp, or if it's your only way of storing coins. I understand why you'd be concerned about it. And you need to recognize that concern and respect that concern and take it upon yourself to learn how to store your coins in a wallet that you control. I think that's very important. And you also might be concerned if you're holding a lot of BNB coins. Now there is the Binance Smart Chain, and that's certainly separate from direct, breeds a little bit more utility to Binance outside of just the exchange itself. Not too much. I think it's a lot tied into what's happening with Binance. But yeah, regulatory pressure could mean Binance being sidelined somewhat and being overtaken by FTX. FTX is another great exchange. It's definitely has a much bigger market than Binance does because they cover outside of cryptocurrencies as well. But I don't know. I mean, the UK and the US isn't the entire cryptocurrency sector. That's not the entire cryptocurrency market. There's lots of people that still use Binance and can use Binance. So yeah, they might suffer a little bit if they get shut down or clamped or whatever, if there's a way to enforce that on Binance. But what do you think?
I don't know. That's a really good question, and
2 years is a long time.
knows. Yeah, like Binance, you know, they've got a lot of money, and they're also competing against a lot of big brokerage firms. Like, give me a break, guys, if you think E-Trade and TD Ameritrade and all these other people aren't going to be trying to take the market of Binance and FTT and all these other companies. Like,
but a huge negative with those is that you can't take your coins off of that platform. You have to keep them there. I think that's a big turnoff for a lot of people. Hopefully.
We will see what happens with the future of regulations. So that is key. That's why I think that Binance was smart and created Binance.us. And so Binance.com for the rest of the world. I think that they knew that ahead of time, and they complied. You know, that was one reason. But I think another reason is to make themselves as anti-fragile as possible, so that they can.
Should have went decentralized if they wanted to be anti-fragile.
Sure, but like, I mean, there's always going to be a centralized exchange out there that wants to take advantage of what centralized exchanges do. And that's why, you know, I think Binance has a good chance to survive in the next 24 months, and so does FTT. But nobody. FTX. Okay, whatever. FTT, FTX, whatever.
It's the coin and the exchange.
Yeah. Okay. So either or, I would give it I'd probably give it a 60 to 70% chance that Binance does survive and that's it.
Yeah. I mean, survival and continuing to have a majority of the market is two different things. So I think it'll still be around in 2 years, but it won't be. Might not be the behemoth that it is now. Who knows?
I mean, the world's changing
Maybe CZ Binance will go down in a fiery ball of glory.
No, hopefully not. Yeah.
I'll be watching from the sidelines with my popcorn. That's going to end it for today's episode. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. If you enjoy these videos, you know what we like. We like it if you leave a like, and hit subscribe if you haven't yet, with a bell notification, and you can get your daily fix of all things crypto.
Yeah. And definitely don't follow the sheep, stay disobedient, and follow our Patreon so you know if we were going to about to sell Binance or FTT, because I have hedged both ways. So
yeah, okay.
Yeah. Anyways, talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.